I want to thank everybody for sitting in on this pVault 5 demonstration. Right now we're going to run through a couple of advantages that really make using pVault 5 in human resources specifically very, very potent and very, very powerful in regards to how we capture information, how we get that information circulated around and approved, and how we get that stored. So that then whenever we have to distribute those documents or we want to be able to search those documents all pertaining to a particular employee, then we can find those and have them readily available for us. This is our imaging system. This is called pVault from Paperless Environments. Paperless Environments is an enterprise content management system that we actually organize documents based off of and we store documents stored in your Windows folder structure. So when I sit down here and look at a particular document, let's just say for human resources, we'll take an I-9 for example. And when I want to view this document type, you can see what pVault's actually going to do underneath the hood is it's actually going to give it a default description based off the employee name and last name and the employee number and the document date. And it's going to automatically put that document in the system and stored in a particular location. Now that's what it does in order to store the document. So if we ever need to find it, we can search by the employee name, the employee number, date, social security number, and any other index values that are put on this particular document. These are indexes or pointer values that actually point to that particular document, and not only point but also cross-reference it with any other documents pertaining to these index values. And that's how we kind of cross-reference our documents in the system. Now that's how we store documents, but whenever we store documents we can actually automatically send them on predefined document routes. So like if I were to come into this vault, and this is actually how we organize our system if we have multiple companies, if we store it inside of a vault, we can actually have predefined routes built on that indexing criteria. So if we have a new hire pack or a vacation request, for example, and I want to automatically store that document in the system, and then by virtue of how I store that document, whether it's based off the employee or somebody's job that they're working on, it can automatically send it on a predefined route. Like you can see this vacation request here, it's actually just going to go to the pVault administrator, and then it could maybe go to a superior, and then also finally to human resources for final approval. We can send it on automatic routes. This timesheet's going to go to the administrator first, which could be one of the reviewers. Then I want Chris to see it as a project manager, and then I want Steve in accounting to finally process it. So we can build these sequential route rules based off of the document type and some of the other finder values or index values in the system. So just to kind of show you what that looks like, if I was going to store a particular document, and let's just say a vacation request, for example, I could actually come in and not have to bother HR at all. I simply want to go on vacation, and I want to enter this in the system. If I come down here, I select my document pack. This is a vacation request, and I can set unlimited document types based on the department. But I come in here for this vacation request. I'm going to tag it to myself. My name is Thomas Carr. It's going to backfill my Social Security. Obviously, this is made-up information. My Social Security number, first, middle, and last name. And I'm just going to tag it to the date that I actually want to request off, and it's this vacation date, so vacation for Friday. And then what I'm going to actually do is I'm going to index this document and store it in the system. Now remember, underneath the hood, my system is set up to automatically, whenever I store a vacation request, it automatically sends it to the HR supervisor. So whenever I come in and I open up my inbox as an HR supervisor, I'm going to see that particular document, that vacation request that was routed to me for Thomas Carr. You can see it's on the screen here. I've got 15 things in my inbox to approve, but the first one right here was the one sent most recently, the one I just did. I can see the notes that were put on it. I can make notes and reroute it to maybe this person's supervisor for approval. I can see it's going to go to one other person and still pending that request. I can release it. I can reroute it. I can do all sorts of different things, but the biggest advantage that this is a built-in, audited, and controlled substitute to email to help inter-office processes work seamlessly and paperlessly. Appreciate, I just pulled a PDF form, filled out a vacation request, and stored it in the system. pVault then modeled a particular workflow that you set up and sent it on that route for processing and approval and collaboration. A very nice tool built into pVault 5 that can absolutely be applicable for the human resources department. Now, one thing that's kind of unique about pVault 5, and this is paperless environments products in general, is that they can be administered from the actual mailroom level or the receptionist level or the job level, or the job site admin level, where maybe I don't have an idea of how these documents should be coded or how they should be stored. I just need to know where I need to send them. So like if you take an example, let's just say I'm working at a job site in Timbuktu, and I just had a bunch of new hires walk into the office. They want to get hired, so they fill out a bunch of paperwork. Now, I don't know necessarily how to process this or what I need to do. I'm just a job trailer scanner and an admin person. So what I'm going to do is I'm actually going to come in here. I scanned in 11 documents, and I'm going to come in and assign it to an HR queue or maybe a new hire queue, maybe a little bit more specifically. I'm going to tell them the job that we're working on, Walmart job in Houston, and then I'm going to actually send the entire document, and I'm going to push it over to my new hire queue. Now, appreciate this is the Walmart job over in Houston. Well, my HR department is back in Atlanta, so now we can be all spread throughout the country. But now, when I come in, it's as simple as I just put this whole pack of documents, pulled it together, and went and put it on Susie in HR's desk. So when I come in here and look at my new hire queue, I can see this is the most recent. Here's that document pack, the Walmart job in Houston. You may say this is similar to email. Well, it is, but appreciate I could have processed 35 new hires right here. And I scanned all that in one pass, and now from this batch right here, I can come in and start processing and storing the documents and send them around for proper processing. Now, because this is a new hire, it brings in a very interesting process because now, pVault is great because I can tag it to an employee number. But what happens when that employee is not an employee yet? So if I want to come in and let's just say I can actually set up a document type for a new hire packet. So I can set it that this employee name and employee number and first name and social security number. This will get backfilled eventually when I actually hire them, but I can't do it just yet because they're not set up. So I'm going to just give it the date. These came in today. I'm going to give it the applicant's name, and his name is John Smith. So I'm adding that as an applicant name. And he came in, and he wanted to get a job for an entry-level person for the carpentry division. And then I can actually store this document, all these documents, all pages, as his new hire packet. Now, once they're stored in my system, I can actually search them, be part of his record forever. So if I'm not hiring right now, I've still got his records here built into the system for processing. So again, our system is flexible enough to be able to be used all throughout the company. But the biggest advantage that going paperless has and using pVault for that is an organization and an enterprise level of HR files across departments. You can kind of see if I do want to look at just simple HR human resources documents, I can sort them and keep a subcategory for maybe benefit documents and just have like the 401k and insurance. I can have medical, confidential. I can kind of organize this how I organize it today. But there may be a point in time where I want to say, hey, give me all my human resource documents, but I also want all my payroll and safety documents for a particular employee. So I can search by first name, last name, employee number. But instead of it being reliant on me to type in the employee's name or to remember it, I can say, hey, give me everything for this guy, Oscar Jones, just because maybe I've had some incidents with him and I want to see his full record. So when I hit search, I see all of his vacation requests, group health, his application, his plan coverage, corrective action reports, and I have everything here that I want to see that has been indexed pertaining to that particular employee. So this is what allows us to bring in here's his payroll timesheets, payroll weekly timesheets, his checks. I have everything now across departments in his employee file, and it's accessible because I have proper security rights. And then if I wanted to maybe pull off a couple of these, like maybe say some of his vacation requests in the past, and then I want to route these around, I can send these out to maybe a supervisor that maybe wanted to have, this is Oscar Jones vacation request. I could say, hey, are you sure you want to let him go? Or are you sure you want something? I have a predefined route here, or I could add a predefined note. I'm sorry. So it can auto-populate for particular work processes that we're repeating. If this is a route that happens continually, maybe it's a new hire packet or safety incidents, we have a particular work process we work through, we can have predefined routes and we can pick them on the fly, and those are in bold, or we can route on the fly. So I want Chris and Steve to see this document. I'm going to need Steve to see it first, and I want Chris, and then I want it back to me by Friday. So wouldn't we love to be able to do this on email? And now I can see this is his document pack. It's got all those documents I attached. I could either send it one way, or I could say, hey, return to me when completed. And hey, I really want your eyes on this for approval because I'm going to need your sign off on this. And then I hit route. And then that goes out, and the proper people get notified as how they come up on the routing scenario. And when they come in, they can see those documentation, all that documentation, collaborate. They can make notes on it right here and say, yes, that vacation request seems fine. And then I hit OK. And then I add my notes, and I'm building my log, time and date stamps for this particular item. And I can kind of manage this in my inbox, outbox. So when we start talking about using pVault for HR, there's all sorts of little features in here that we can use, because at the end of the day, it's just a tool. You just tell us what your work processes are, what types of documents you like to store, and then we just put those in the system, and then we can send them on the workflows that they end up generating. It's a very easy-to-use system. If you already have paperless environments, pVault 5 is just part of your upgrade, so there's no additional cost if you have invested in pVault. But if not, and you're interested in going paperless for your department and your company, I encourage you to explore more at paperlessenvironments.com and also eriskcorp.com. So thank you for your time. This was a shrunken down version of our pVault 5 human resources, but I hope it was informative and very educational, and we hope that you'll follow us more on Twitter at eriskcorp and also on the web. Thank you.